Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Joining me is Shekhar Iyer ji as we take on some very important things that are affecting day-to-day life in India. Let's welcome Shekhar ji. Shekhar ji, namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you, sir?
Namaskaram, Ji. Namaskaram. Is usually we take up the top political burning issues for a change, but we are not doing that today. We will deal with politics, but we are dealing with what has shocked a lot of people in this country is this burning coffins. Our sleeper buses. There are more than 200,000. 2 lakh buses are crisscrossing the country in the night time. Probably this is the time as we begin this show. This is the time people are getting onto those buses which are called luxury sleeper buses. But what is unfolding is these buses are frequently catching fire and people are burnt alive. Now, why are we talking about this? Because this is a time for the center and the state government to wake up. Just the other day on October 23rd, like any other evening, from major cities, be it Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune, Visakhapatnam, Chennai, Tanjavur, Madurai, or this side, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Surat, from all these places around 9-ish, all these luxury buses, usually with big brand names, they take off for the nearby towns which cover more than 1,000 kilometers. And what has happened is, of the last few days, there is several incidents when these buses catch fire midway and passengers cannot get out. They are just burnt alive. That's what happened on October 23rd. A luxury sleeper bus left Hyderabad for Bangalore. And during the festival season, a lot of people, take these buses because they can't get into trains. Trains are overbooked. So all they do is get onto these buses, which charge huge amounts, sometimes 3,000, 4,000 rupees, sir. I mean, or equivalent to a first class fare. And these young people, they do the last day the job and get on, or they spend the last day at home and try to return before the holiday season ends. So this is a scenario all over the country. Everywhere you will find these the so-called luxury buses with sleeper buses, in the sense they have nearly 2 decks with sleeper beds. But the only thing they forget is they don't have an emergency exit. And the tragedy that is unfolding is a wake-up call for our authorities, for our licensing authorities. Because briefly, this story, which our viewers should know, is this bus, sir, which left Hyderabad at 8:30 p.m. on October 23rd, and around 12 midnight, or rather at 3:30 a.m., when it was passing through Kurnool district. Uh, what the account we are getting is a motorcyclist who was drunk, dashed against this bus, and somehow the motorcycle went underneath the bus and it punctured the gas tank and it burst into flames. And some people managed to get out because there were more than 40 people inside. Of this, 90 passengers managed to jump out, that by breaking glasses, and rest 20 were burnt alive. And what is coming out now is, in the luggage compartment, there was a parcel, and that parcel had was carrying smartphones, 234 smartphones meant for a trader in Bengaluru from Hyderabad. Now all those cell phones became, bombs by themselves, and tremendous explosion took place. And the driver first fled from the spot. Normally, such long distance buses have 2 drivers and a cleaner. And the cleaner, the spare driver was sleeping in the luggage compartment underneath between the wheels. I mean, we are talking of modern India. We must know what is the kind of transport that is happening, how people are traveling. And these phones were worth 46 lakhs, but this was the most expensive explosive device, I should say. Because, and also the electric batteries that are used in the AC unit, that also set off. And incidentally, this bus company is called Kaveri Travels, and it is not registered in Andhra Pradesh or Karnataka. It is registered in Union Territory of Daman and Diu with an all India permit. Scores of buses leave every night from Chennai to Bangalore. Chennai to southern Madurai to Kanyakumari. Similarly to other places. All over the country, these buses travel. But the sad story is that 20 people died. And 10 days earlier, now why are at P Guru's taking up the subject? Because just 10 days ago, on a route between Jaisalmer and Jodhpur, there was another similar fire, and in which 26 people were killed. Now, the question that we are asking is, why is this happening? Are they moving coffins? And I have a figure, sir, a statistic that says in the last 3 years, there have been so many incidents and the total death toll stands is 100. Just the TV makes headlines with all these burning trains. I mean, burning, of course, even trains are catching fire. The other day, there was an Amritsar Purnia train which caught fire. 2 days ago, another coach caught fire. Now, these are, incidents that are particularly happening during festival season, which does worry all of us. And also, there is another, I would say, something worrying, because in Bihar, this is the festival of Chhat festival, which is coincides with our Skanda Shashti in Tamil Nadu. Now, Chhat festival is worship of, the Surya Bhagavan. And all families cutting across caste lines, they all return to their base. And they offer prayer both at the runner to the Shashti, that is both dusk and then in dawn. And this year it is falling on 27th, 28th of October. People are rushing. Trains are full. The other day, Railway Minister Vaishnav said we have kept 3 control rooms. They have put up holding areas outside big stations because to avoid a stampede of the kind that happened last year. But then the government's claim of 12,000 trains. But the scenario is people are hanging on and somehow reaching. Similarly, after a few days, they will similarly hang on to the trains and return. People with reservation are not able to get into the train. Because festival season means people want to reunite with families. And the system, no matter how many special trains you run. So the other problem is, moment they hear special trains are being run, more people come. This is also happening. More people come. And those who can't come, they take the buses, which leave from Noida to Bihar. So that brings us to a question that about 60% of these accidents, and what has been noted is they happen between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. And most deaths have happened because passengers could not get out. Sir, these buses are operated by electrically operated doors. Once there is fire and the system fails, the doors can't be opened. And there is no manual door. So therefore, what you see is that people are just cooked inside. It becomes like oven. And some of the figures, sir, like there were 7 people killed in June of 2022. In Nashik, 12 people died on the Nashik-Mumbai highway. And similarly, Jaipur to Delhi, a bus caught fire in November of 2023. And a lot of buses run between Jaipur and Delhi. Similarly, in October 2024, near Dholpur, one of these luxury buses collided with the tempo. 20 died because it caught fire. And there was similar fire where a bus running from Begusarai in Bihar to Delhi, where 5 died. Similar fire incident. Some people managed to get out. Sir, after a certain age, you can't even jump out of a bus, even after breaking glass, because it's at a certain height. Now, a good question to ask is, why are these buses catching fire? Is it on collision, or is there something wrong with the design? Sir, today we are asking a very, very political question, but that needs a political answer. A political question that needs a political answer. Because, sir, invariably these buses, they don't stick to the original, the manufacturer who provided the chassis. They try to increase the number of seats. In order to increase, if the seats are normally 36, they add out those seats by removing the space meant for emergency exit. And
Correct.
second thing, where there is a double-decker means the difficulty of the people sleeping on the upper deck to get down. Also, the aisle is a very narrow aisle because so many seats added. And then the other problem is the material used in this bus interiors, they are highly inflammable. And so therefore, there is a demand. I think through B Gurus, I want to share some of the concerns of expert, which is ban these old buses which have done these modifications and ensure that high quality materials are used in the construction of the bus and fire retardant materials are used. And they should ban these double decker buses because there should be just single floor bus, and there should be extra space for emergency exits. And long routes, sir, some long routes they manage with one driver, sir.
Are there
Since
bathrooms, sir, in the bus? Are there bathrooms in
no,
the
there
bus?
is no, there is no bathroom in the bus. The
How do
buses,
women
some
manage?
buses have no, some no, they what do? They have frequent stops.
But sir,
They have
women
frequent.
can't use those places, sir. You can't just go out in the
That
fields.
is that is the difficulty, sir. Sometimes they stop for tea. Of course, some cities, some towns in the major highways, they have this facility. So this is another issue that you have pointed out. And sir, I have a fact sheet that tells me that sleeper buses started in US in the 30s, essentially to carry the music bands across.
Right.
And then by 2000, safety issues started bothering people. For instance, in England, they were banned. Those special buses were allowed. Germany banned it in 2016. China, sir, they had in 2012 an accident. Similarly, a bus caught fire and 36 people were killed. And after that, they started a scheme to phase out all old buses. So today, at least 40 countries allow these buses, sleeper buses, including the US, Australia, Japan, Canada, etc. And India has got 23, lakh, in other words, 2.3 million buses, of which the sleeper kind are 200,000, 2 lakhs. And India and Pakistan, sir, they have a lot of these buses, which are made, by the local design. Now with this the Chat festival, the train crash, means more buses on the road, but very little reinforcement. And every time, after the disaster, everybody is upset. And all these manufacturers, big names, sir, like Volvo, and these are big brands, but they only sell the chassis. They don't do
Somebody
the
is
entire bodybuilding.
customizing them. Somebody is
Yeah, but of
customizing them.
course, yeah, but some bodybuilders there are reputed bodybuilders, but then companies which have a fleet of such buses, maybe 5 of them will have a good one, but others don't. So this is an important subject. I thought we should flag it because this does concern a lot of young people who have to work outside their home, who have to work far away from their home. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I have experienced this, Shekharji, even when I was very young. My hometown was Hyderabad, and I was working in Bengaluru. And almost always, the last resort is to take a bus, and it'll start around 8 o'clock from Hyderabad, and it'll reach around 5:30 in the morning in Bengaluru. Enough time for you to go home, take a shower, get ready, and start the day work at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or something like that. But this used to be torture, because what they would do is they'll have this VCRs were just coming up online. I'm talking about late 80s. And they will put this one movie loud. Even if you're on the last row, you will still be blaring in your ears. You have to somehow overcome that and get some sleep and still be ready and fresh to go and work in the at work. And consciously, what I did, Shekharji, was instead of going like every 2 weeks, I would go only once a month or something like that. I said, this is crazy. I cannot just, because same reason, the number of trains at that time was far less, and air travel was not a possibility. We were not making that much money anyway. So given all these things, I completely understand where it's coming from. Not only that, these buses would contravene a lot of regulations and laws. So there will be like a inspection going on for roadworthiness. So what they will do is they'll take all these unheard of routes around Bengaluru to get you to a point from where you're supposed to get down and go to your destination. It used to be just laughably crazy, Shekharji. But people used to do that, and I think it's just gone to a next level now. And safety, like everything else, is a very important issue. You made a very important point that fire retardant devices have to be used. And I can tell you, Shekharji, we in India, if we can make a buck by closing the emergency window and door and adding another row, we will do it. The reason is the entire system is corrupt, sir. Everybody gets greed. There is a guy who is supposed to inspect roadworthiness of buses. They are bribed. There's a brake inspector who's supposed to check the brakes alone. Then there is, I don't know, God only knows how many safety inspectors, but uniformly everybody gets bribed and things are deemed roadworthy. So this is a mindset also. People, you are traveling in coffins that will only incinerate you. And that's the thing that you need to do some work and see which bus operator has a better safety record, and perhaps use them. And why do you wait till the last minute? Why can't you reserve a book ticket in the buses also? They also take, these days everybody is online. You can reserve the ticket early on. So there is a certain amount of complacency as an Indian mindset, sir. Kal kar lenge. That kal never
sir,
comes, and then you're.
Sir, the problem is they don't get leave easily. So they, if it's a Diwali coming or Pongal coming, or you have Gudu Padua or something, it's not so easy to get out, because they will have to wait. And these small companies, private companies, IT companies, they don't let their employee leave before they finish the task for the week. I mean, to rush. That's one. Number two, sir, there is a political angle. I'll tell you what. All these people who run these buses, they are politicians themselves.
Of course.
These companies are run by politicians, otherwise they don't get permits. And many politicians who become MLAs and even ministers, they have these fleet of buses. So therefore, if at all anybody has to enforce the guidelines, safety guidelines, those guidelines can be only enforced because they are ministers, they are in power.
Yeah.
And I don't want to name the major carriers and who owns them what, but everybody knows. Sir, do you remember when Sukhbir Singh Badal was Punjab Deputy Chief Minister, and his family completely monopolized the routes between Delhi and Chandigarh, Delhi and Amritsar. So much so that they used to run buses, not just Volvo, Mercedes, and other big companies, big brand names, Mercedes and big companies. And the whole routes were monopolized by them. That is why resentment built up against the Sukhbir Singh Badal family, because even the bus contracts were not spared, hotel contracts, motel contracts, and these buses would stop at big, and this would bring a lot of passengers from, say, coming from Birmingham and from Canada, and they will be loaded into these luxury buses which will drop off into the interiors of Punjab, and they would be completely controlled by one ruling family. So there is a political angle to this, and therefore, since so long as no incident happens, it goes on. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. See, overall, we need to start looking at all these things a little bit more carefully. Yes, I agree that conditions in some of the smaller companies are pretty difficult. However, if you pace yourself, you should be able to predict when you can go. I think the employers also need to have a humanitarian view of these things. After all, these kids go home, they get re-energized, recharged, and they come back and, they are working at a much higher level of efficiency. And I can tell you, Shekharji, I myself have run small companies, and there are other situations, other challenges also for employees who work there. I don't want to go into that now. It's too heartbreaking. That's all I can say. Let's go on to the next topic, sir. Clearly, there is awareness that needs to be spread among people, as well as the safety inspections have to be regular, especially since Chhat is coming, that there is going to be a huge demand. This starting from Navaratri until Sankranti, those 3 months, something or the other is happening. Somewhere somebody is celebrating something. That means 3 months of the year, India is on the move, literally. Please understand that is the bigger picture here. Roads are nice, yes, but not all roads are nice. Another story that we can probably cover another day. Nighttime, interior road, 4-lane road abruptly will stop, Shekharji, because somebody has not sold their land. So there'll be like a 80 feet gap. Okay, 4 lanes coming, and then there's a huge gap of 80 feet. Then the 4 lanes continue. Between this and this, you need to get down, do a diversion, and then go back up, and so on and so forth. Half the time there won't be any lights. It's just a nightmare, Shekhar. I've seen these things. That's why I'm saying it. But let's move on to the next topic. Bihar election. Why is INDI trying to find every way to lose this contest, Shekhar? That's how it looks like. It's a they are already moaning and complaining. This guy is wrong. That guy is wrong. This government, this arm of government is wrong. I mean, these are all things that these people used to rule not long ago. 60 years the Congress was in power. And if you look at all these people, right, somewhere they would have had some connect back to the Congress. Either that or they're in coalition with Congress. So what is the problem now with INDI? Why are they so, why are they sulking so much, sir?
Well, sir, we have seen, with all that standoff between Rahul Gandhi and Tejaswi Yadav, with Rahul refusing to endorse Tejaswi Yadav as the CM candidate of the Mahagathbandhan, or the Grand Alliance, as it were. And then finally, what you saw was Congress had to, submit to Tejaswi Yadav, because initially you saw Lalu and Tejaswi rushed to Delhi for an audience with Sonia and with Rahul, but Rahul refused to meet them because Congress wanted at same number of seats that they had got in 2020. In 2020, Congress got 70 seats and it won only 19. So therefore, Tejaswi Yadav said no more than 55. So Congress leaders were upset. So Rahul Gandhi did not give audience to Tejaswi. In turn, Tejaswi did not grant audience to Rahul. This went on for some time, and finally Congress realized that the image, the optics was getting very, very bad. And already the nomination for the first round had closed. And just before the nomination closed for the second round of polling, that is, first round of polling is on November 6th. Second round is on November 11th. So before the second round closed, you saw Congress dispatching their Ashok Gehlot, former Rajasthan Chief Minister, as a sort of an observer for Bihar. He came and then met, and then they had a press conference where then Ashok Gehlot was made to say that Tejaswi Yadav is a CPM candidate. Now, what happened during all these things? Finally, Congress was allowed to contest 61 seats. By then, nearly 12 places, candidates had been named. Congress had named its candidate, RJD had named candidate, and those candidates were refusing to withdraw. And I think in about 8 or 9 constituencies where Congress and RJD, there are still issues. Now, that apart, sir, what should upset Congress is, in the press conference where it was held, Rahul's poster was missing. There was only picture of Tejaswi Yadav and other alliance leaders. Because this whole thing was about Rahul reviving Congress in Bihar and Rahul thereby reviving the opposition in Bihar. But what we saw was Rahul's poster was missing. And Rahul did not come to attend that press conference, which in original scheme of things, probably he would have if Congress had got what it wanted. That did not happen. So what we saw was Ashok Gehlot, murmuring that it is Tejaswi Yadav who is the CM candidate. Now, along with that, this is where I think it should hurt the Congress, the local unit, which is Mukesh Sahani, who runs a party which is run by him, basically, that is called VIP Party, Vikashsheel Insan Party, because it's basically considered as extremely backward classes. Mukesh Sahani was named as another deputy CM face. And they said, and Gehlot said, in the process of time, we will name more deputy CM candidates. So whatever happened, the Congress demand that their leader should be, that one of the Muslim leaders should be projected as a deputy CM face. So Gehlot said, no, we will have more CPM faces. That is for every community. So Muslim candidate, no Muslim leader was named as a Mahagathbandhan's deputy CM face. The original plan, Congress was insisting, if you are making Mukesh Sahani as a deputy CM, then that the face There should be other deputy CM, but then Tejaswi Yadav was in no mood to talk about Muslim face this time. That brings us to a story that this is one election. The Gadbandhan doesn't want to be talking about the Muslims. Either two, they have been known as MY faction, Muslim and Yadavs. So, but this time the Mahagathbandhan parties have realized that if they were to talk about Muslims or minority issues, this will further only help in polarization in favor of NDA. That is why, sir, Asauddin Owaisi, who has put up candidates, I think he has put up 25 candidates in Bihar. He also scaled down. He said he will put up 100 candidates in Bihar. Owaisi has only now finally put up 25 candidates. Mostly the Simanchal region, that is bordering, that is Muslim dominated districts and constituencies close to the Bangladesh border. Now, Owaisi has a very pertinent question. He says, if the Mahagathbandhan, because he wanted an alliance with Mahagathbandhan, Lalu did not even grant him an audience. Now, Owaisi asks a question, which is, if this community which Mukesh Sahani represents, they are only 2% of the population, and for them you are giving them a deputy CM face. What about the 18% Muslims, 17 to 18% Muslims in Bihar? You have not named any deputy CM face. So, sir, this time caste is playing a big role. That is why you saw on the day Prime Minister launched his Bihar campaign from Samastipur, which is the home ground of the Karpuri Thakur, a kind of an icon for OBC classes, a former Chief Minister of Bihar. On that day, you saw suddenly Congress remembering Sitaram Kesari. Rahul Gandhi went to pay homage to Sitaram Kesari's photo. And who is Sitaram Kesari? We all know how Sonia Gandhi staged a coup, got Sitaram Kesari out by locking up him in a toilet because he had refused to resign. Because when the courtiers decided that Sonia Gandhi should take over the party in 1998, Sitaram Kesari held on to Congress president's post. Sonia Gandhi had appointed Sitaram Kesari as a Congress president because after Narasimha Rao was forced to resign after the after that Lakhubai Pathak case, and Sitaram Kesari refused to resign. He said, "Let Sonia Gandhi personally tell me you quit, I will quit. Otherwise, I will not quit." So other CWC members, Congress Working Committee members, waited for him to leave that room and enter the toilet. They locked the toilet. And they met and they had passed a resolution saying they have accepted the resignation of Sitaram Kesari and elected Sonia Gandhi as the next leader. And Sitaram Kesari belongs to the backward class.
Can you put the cartoon back, please? Sir, this cartoon says it all.
Sir.
Can you take out the top edge, please? Yes. So, sir, what you said, exactly same thing happening. Sitaram Kesari sitting in the gaddi, then he leaves for the toilet. The toilet is also called London, by the way. That's why it's written London there. This is Professor R.V. Humor. He had come up with, I know many definitions for London, and one Congress president got booted out by going to London. So this is exactly what happened, Shekhar-ji. You can take a look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sir, now I wanted to focus attention on one more thing. I mean, related to this. See, in all, in Bihar, how many Muslim candidates are there? Sir, interestingly, every party promised they will give lot of representation to Muslims. Now, Gadbandhan, all total political parties, if you take all the parties together, there are only 34 Muslim candidates in Bihar. And RJD has fielded 18 candidates. And which is, 3 more than whom the number they had fielded in 2020. Now, JDU has got 4 Muslim candidates out of 101. And in 2020, they had fielded 10 candidates. Now, Congress this time has fielded 10 Muslim candidates out of 61 they have fielded. Now, Ramvilas Paswan, that is LJP, Lok Jan Shakti Party, they have fielded one. Now, the radical left parties like CPI-ML, they have fielded two. And all total, sir, the Grand Alliance will come to, the Mahagathbandhan has fielded 30 candidates. Now, Jan Suraj Party, sir, you remember Prashant Kishor, political strategist turned leader, who decided not to contest the election this time, though he said he will stand against Tejaswi and all. And his decision not to contest has become a dampener. Suddenly, people are saying that Jan Suraj has lost steam at the fag end because the leader is not contesting. Now, his party promised to field 40 candidates. He said, Jitni Awadi, Utni Hak. So that many number of seats will be given to Muslim. Now, he has fielded only 21, not 40. Now, what is the reason, sir? Why is it happening like this? The simple reason is that today, these opposition parties who have done Muslim politics, the Muslim appeasement politics or vote bank politics, they have realized that it is running counter to them now, because if they do that, the polarization becomes even faster and it helps the BJP-led NDA. Now, BJP, it's very clear they have not named any Muslim candidate. And the reason they gave is because even if you name a candidate, nobody is going to vote a Muslim candidate belonging to BJP. Though in other places they have given candidates. Where there is a chance of a Muslim candidate winning, BJP has given candidate. But here in this case, they have left to JDU and Chirag Paswan-led party to do it. Sir, remember, sir, at one time, Muslim factor was such a huge thing. Even today, one of the biggest, strongest support is for the Mahagathbandhan comes from the Muslims, Muslim voters. And what is the assumption now by the Mahagathbandhan leaders? That these Muslim voters, whether we give enough number of candidates or not, they don't have an alternative. They are not vote for NDA. And they will only vote for us. Rather, we should not rake up, that is why none of the opposition parties are talking about minorities, special schemes, from all that which they did in Lok Sabha, they are not doing now, during the Lok Sabha campaign. Sir, in the 70s, if you remember, Bihar even had a Muslim CM, Abdul Ghafoor. And when the student agitation started, if you remember, sir, 1974, which was against the corruption in the Congress government, that time Abdul Ghafoor was the CM. And overall, if you see, sir, in 1985, there were 34 Muslims got elected. And in 1985, 34 got elected. But by 2020, only 19 Muslim MLAs were present in Bihar Assembly. So I am giving the statistics because, sir, though the rhetoric is always, we are secular parties, we will only care for Muslims. But in their strategy games, you find them giving them lesser and lesser representation. Because their appeasement politics is backfiring. That is one. And second thing, sir, OVC for this time, what he has done is, among the candidates he has put up, see, he has named 25 candidates and he has named 2 non-Muslim candidates in those areas, because he wants to have an image change for his party, that his party is not just a party of Muslims or party for Muslims. Rather, it is a party for backward Dalits and minorities, that is including Muslims. This is an image
Jai
correction.
Meme, Jai Bhim. Jai Meme, Jai Bhim.
Yes, he has been trying to do that. Now, but again, this time he had said he would contest 100 seats, but he has only put up 5. Sir, in 2020, MIM put up 19 candidates, of who 5 won. And out of that 5, 4 jumped ship and joined RJD. That's why OSC is very upset with Lalu to, doing this to him. Sir.
Sir, ये कभी बंद नहीं होता है, sir. See, even as we talk about all these new players, the thought that is in the back of everybody's minds is who is whose B team? For example, OIC. Rapid fire question for you, sir. Whose B team is OIC?
Sir, he says Sometimes people tell me I'm BJP's B team. Sometimes people tell me I'm Pakistan's A team.
And Prashant Kishor, what happened, sir? I think he was spending his own money, or he just thought that there was too much money being spent. What exactly is the backstory, sir?
Sir, one thing was clear: Jan Suraj was flush with resources,
Hmm.
and Prashant Kishor himself, being a having worked as a strategist for so many parties, whether Trinamool Congress or DMK, Jagan Mohan Reddy, he has worked with so many parties. He worked with for the opposition alliance in Maharashtra also at one time. He has worked for so many parties, and he has never had a, because when you work for parties, political parties, and make them win power, even DMK yet was advising for
Yeah.
them. So in terms of, I think his company's income or his own income would such, but definitely there were no dearth of resources. That is why it was very visible of among the parties in terms of volunteers or workers or paid employees of the party. You saw it was very visible. And youngsters got attracted because he was speaking in a language which was different from way the Indian leaders were approaching the voters, or the way Lalu and his team have always approached. So he wanted to show, look, I want to do a different thing. And he traveled nook and across Bihar. But finally, when it came to, even giving candidates, I mean, even putting up candidates, he relied on a lot of greyhounds, some of them IPS officers, some of them IAS, retired IAS officers. And his naming of candidates itself did not inspire much, because he didn't have people, that many people. And finally, he kept on saying, people will decide where I should contest. He said, I am going to Raghopur, which is the constituency of Tejaswi Yadav. But at the last minute, he decided to back out, because he realized if he were to contest a maiden, if this was his maiden election, and if he lost, then it would be a severe damage. Already, the fact that he's not contesting the election and has taken the steam out. Because I spoke to some number of the NDA strategists in Patna. They said, तो ये इनका खेल खत्म हो गया. भाई मैंने कहा कैसे भाई इतने कैंडिडेट तो उन्होंने डाला है. But they say, look, even if he has put up so many candidates, the fact that he was egging on everybody to fight, getting a lot of people to come, but he personally and kept that his card closed. He's going to contest, and definitely he'll contest. Only the constituency is kept secret. But finally, decision not to contest, because he says his party people decided that he should focus on campaigning in all the constituencies. And sir, some of his candidates whom he named, 3 candidates, at least 4 candidates, after receiving the nomination, filing nomination, they just withdrew in favor of NDA. So Prashant Kishor came out with the charges, Amit Shah abhi candidate chori ho raha hai.
So I think he's also finding out that there's a huge difference between coming up with taglines and becoming a headline. You get the point, right?
Sir, I will draw a parallel with Bollywood and Hollywood, and in the film industry, lot of filmmakers, very good filmmakers, have produced super hits which have run for weeks in the box office. Now, but no filmmaker has dared to become a hero in a film which he himself will direct.
Correct.
It is
Correct.
other way around. Heroes who have done a lot of films finally turn filmmakers, because they have tons of money they need to invest. So they invest on films. And they hire other heroes like Kamal Hassan and all. They produce films. They hire other heroes. They don't, project. Sometimes in Kamal Hassan's case, the ones which projected, some of them did not do well. So similarly in politics, if you are a good filmmaker, you're a good director, you should stick to directing the movie, and not end up as trying to be hero. I think that is a lesson in this. As you said, sir, it is easy to be a strategist. No, I don't say it is easy to be strategist, but then it is easy to get advice. But when you have to do it yourself, because sir, this complaint has also come. I'm telling you that in Bihar, this time the allegation has come very strongly, particularly in the Congress, in the RJD. even Jan Suraj party, कि पैसे लेकर टिकट दिया. And we have seen, visuals of ex-MLAs, sitting MLAs, even tearing their clothes, weeping profusely that they were denied ticket. That happened in RJD hopefuls. And in Congress case, they were holding demonstration against Krishna Alavaru, who is the AICC in charge for Bihar. They said, एक seat 5 crore में बेचे गए. And people are very upset. And when Alavaru and another leader landed, Shakil Khan Ahmad, when they landed from Delhi to finally announce the list, they were hounded in the airport itself. And then the next few days saw people holding placards, Congress, leaders claiming that the whole thing has been sold. So they came with the slogan, "Seat chor, Bihar chor, seat chor, Bihar chor." Those who are stealing seats, they should leave Bihar. They were holding, and one of them even confronted Alavaru. You have given ticket to finally to all RSS fellows. Whereas Rahul Gandhi wanted to fight RSS BJP. Of course, I must say to the credit of Alavaru, he was very calm. He heard the protester who was holding a placard and shouting. Quietly heard him, even tried to shake hands with him. I mean, that requires, when you're surrounded by a mob shouting, and that too in Patna, and you don't belong to the state, that would require a courage of, I would say, of immense proportion to hear
Yes,
them
yes.
shout on your face, "Seat chor, Bihar chod." It requires a lot of, but that also we saw. So, and this is not a new allegation, sir, when it comes to Congress party. Margaret Alva had made that allegation, you remember, that when she wanted a ticket for her son, she was told how much it would cost. She mentioned it in her book also. I mean, this is not, and people talk even in regional parties, sir, DMK and all, they say, if we pay so much to the powers that be, the party will get our ticket. Mayawati also, sir, Mayawati's party's decline was this reason. Those who wanted ticket had to pay 11 lakhs. I'm talking of old days, 20 years ago. Subsequently, the rates got revised as per BSP's fortunes declined. Now, 11 lakhs means once you pay, she will give you a coupon. And if you can cough up that money and get the ticket, you are given a coupon. That coupon you can sell and collect the money back. Suppose you gave 11 lakhs, they will give you 100 coupons, which you can go around and say you are the BSP nominee, and you can, get people to donate for you, or you can extort. Depends on your style of operation. And sir, and there have been, tapped video conversation between Mayawati and the functionaries asking, "See, this so and so fellow took the ticket. He promised to pay so much. He has paid only this much. Where is the Hisab Kitab? When the balance will come?" And that other end, the fellow who is organizing, he will be begging her for mercy. So these parties like Mayawati declined because of this reason. Everything was given for a price. So some of the displeased ones even tapped the conversation, and Mayawati was heard saying openly. He will say, and the other end, the caller would say, "I am at your mercy. I am at your mercy. Please spare me." No, that is not such. But you have not ठीक हिसाब नहीं दिया. ठीक हिसाब दिया नहीं मतलब इतना payment ठीक नहीं किया. And that party declined. One of the reasons is this reasons. Apart from Dalits, realizing that Mayawati no longer represented their aspiration, and some of them shifted to other parties, including Samajwadi Party. So this trend that we hear during election time, कि पैसे खा गए, टिकट ऐसे दे दिए, लेकिन इस बार सर for a Congress ticket 5 crore, I thought it was on the higher side, considering that you have to brave the storm.
Yes, indeed. And sir, there's one more topic we need to talk. Viewers, we may not be able to have time to take your questions because this is a very, very important topic about actor Joseph Vijay. See, the incident happened in Karur, which is in western Tamil Nadu. What he wants to do now is to organize a meeting on the shores of Mahabalipuram, which is about 50 kilometers south of Chennai. Perhaps that whole stretch looks like a city now because there is so much construction. And he wants to console, I think that's what I am reading, the victims of Karur by asking them to come to Mahabalipuram. Sir, I am trying to get my head around it. This is going to be another bus caravan where everybody will come from Karur to Mahabalipuram. What is going on, sir?
Sir, I think he's having a tremendous, I would say, crisis on his hand, which is the charge against him is he had left Karur that night, September 27th, when stampede happened when he was addressing the crowd. And he did not stay put. He did not meet the victims. He did not go to the hospital. He just left Karur and went to Chennai. And after only reaching home, he gave a statement. Till then, there was silence when nearly 41 people had died and many were injured in the stampede that happened in the narrow roads of Karur. Now, that after that, he announced 20 lakhs for each of the,
Deceased.
for each victim's
Deceased.
family.
Mm, mm.
20 lakhs. Now, though that money has been now dispersed, I am told. He has been wanting to visit Karur to visit these families. But as usual, state government has not been very, very kind to, ensure that he is able to travel there. In fact, police were also putting condition. In between, you saw cases were registered against his other functionaries uh, the Bushi Anand and Alav Arjun, and because Alav Arjuna, because he was for his tweets and the fact that this has happened, and many functionaries are facing. Now, a relief came by way of a Supreme Court, seeing a contradiction between a Madras High Court single judge and a Madurai bench giving contradictory orders. One had already allowed a special investigation team, and then this wanted a supervision. So, and a judicial inquiry by a judge was also on, Aruna Jagdishan. Now, this is the time when Vijay went into a shell because he did not know how to handle it. Though the opposition parties, including EPS, BJP, provided support, Amit Shah spoke to him. And another leader who has been keeping touch with him was Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi, I am told, has spoken again and again to Vijay because Congress is keeping an option open. Now, the question is Vijay has to take a big call, which he thinks he should do after he, finishes this meeting with the victims' families. Since the arrangements are not proper for him to go, because he wanted media to be kept out and a proper distance between him and the crowds when he visits Karur. I think the local administration said it is not possible to meet all those demands. So what we are going to see is this 50 families will be taken in buses, again luxury buses. We started this discussion this
Yes.
evening with the luxury buses. Of course, the distance between Karur and Mahabalipuram is not very far off, and they will be put up in 50 rooms. And Vijay will interact with each of these families and convey his readiness to help them further with more monetary help and help for their children, for further education and things like that. So those are being planned. Now, once this is done, I am told Vivek will take a call. What should he do? Should he plow a lonely furrow? Should he keep going alone, saying that ADMK BJP is also my enemy, that alliance is an enemy, and DMK is enemy, and BJP is my ideological enemy, and DMK is my political enemy? Because he has realized that once DMK sensed that he was making impact on people, they have decided to pull the rug under his feet. They will not let him do what he wants to do. Because he was making out the TVK and DMK are the real fighters in this election. They are the contestants, they are the combatants. But he will now realize, sir, if he really wants, because for his party to survive and his politics to survive, he has to ensure the defeat of the DMK ministry. If DMK wins in this election, 2025, 26 election, they will not spare him because he's a new player and he's a new disruptor. And so they have realized that if he's really growing, then he has to be curbed. So the option open to Vijay, as we see it now, he somehow makes an arrangement with ADMK, which also has an alliance with the BJP, and to ensure the opposition votes are not split. Or B, the reason why Rahul Gandhi is frequently talking to Vijay, much to the discomfort of Chief Minister Stalin and the DMK leaders, which is try explore another alliance. Maybe if Congress and TVK can come together, that will also upset a lot of apple carts. And BJP in this game, sir, is only wants that DMK should not return. This is where it stands. And as I can see it, because he has been saying it is only around Thai Masam, that is only mid-January, when at the time of Pongal or after Pongal, he will take a call. But I think he may have to do it little earlier, because once the Karur episode is put behind, and he has managed to speak to these families and convey a message that what had happened that evening, that night in Karur was really horrific, and he is truly sorry. If once this message goes across, then he will be probably looking at his options. And the best option for him is to, as I see it, is for once he should look askance at ADMK BJP alliance and join hands with EPS in whatever formula or arrangement and ensure the defeat of the DMK. If he can't do that, if he wants to be more adventurous, then he must listen to people, particularly from the Congress, who are asking him to join hands with the Congress party. Sir.
Between you and me, the math is, if he wants to really consolidate his base, then the right thing to do, in my opinion, would be to team up with Congress, just one party, Congress and TVK. Don't go and add this kuppan, this suppan, this doesn't work. You don't have to do that. What you are banking on is minority math, which is what Congress always has backed on. Between 10 to 20% of Tamil Nadu is Christian now, or at least Christian influenced, meaning that the local padre says, who shall you vote for? 20% there, about 10% Muslim, 30%. And all Vijay needs is women fans, perhaps, to get another 5%. Because once you get to 35% in a multi-cornered contest, you are definitely in business. And this could be, I think I want DMK to lose. These people are a cancer to the society, in my opinion. ADMK lesser so, but they are also the same. The right thing to do is to have two-party system in India, Congress and BJP. And whenever that happens across India, that's when some stability will come, Shekharji. Until then, all these regional satraps will keep on meddling and trying to exploit people's feelings for their own benefit. And I definitely want DMK to go. These guys are just, I see the thing is, they are so brazen and blatant about their looting, sir. They realize that they may not come back to power. So it looks like the looting has gone to the next level. Whether they try to usurp HR and CE lands and try to, make money from that. And again, jewelry is gone missing in Tamil Nadu temples also. It strikes at the root of Sanatana Dharma, sir. So if you I don't know, I'm just take 2 minutes of your time to explain how the Payani temple became so prosperous. Years 200, 250, 300, I don't exactly remember the timeline. What happened was, there was a Chettiar boy who got orphaned. He lost his parents. He was about 5 or 6 years old. And he was picked up by the priest who was managing. That time, this temple was a small, little bit small thing. and he was the pujari for that. It's a Brahmin couple. They did not have any children, and they decided to raise this Chettiar boy as their own. Boy was very devout, but he had the math, the genes of Chettiar. He's very good at figuring out what is business acumen, how to make money, how to be successful in life. So as he grew older, like in 16 or 17 years of age, he saw his father, trekking hard because he was getting older. And have you been to Parani, sir? It's a pretty steep hill, and you have to use a winch. That winch and all came only recently. I mean, over 50 years or something like that. We are talking hundreds of years ago. He used to find it very difficult to trek up, do the puja, and then come down every day. So this boy took a vow. He said, for every rupee I make, 33 paisa I will donate to Parani Andavan. That's how the temple became what it is, sir. And that boy, till he died, he kept his word. I'm saying all this because there is so much hatred against Brahmins. There is so much hatred against small communities, because once the Brahmins are out of the picture, guess who's going to be next? It will be the Chettiars or Mudaliyars. I'm telling you, viewers. So those of you who agree with me or not, it doesn't matter. These are all the smaller communities, relatively prosperous. That's what they will turn to. So what I'm trying to say is, these little acts have held up dharma in this state. And to continue to do things like this, DMK is not the solution. These are all past masters at rigging elections, winning elections, and corruption. They have to go, no matter what. And I'm still surprised, Shekharji, I'm still surprised that Udayanithi Stalin is not running from one court to another. There are 30 plus cases registered against him for his comments on Sanatana Dharma, against Sanatana Dharma. Why are they not seeing the light of day? So there are some of them are BJP ruled states. So if the others are managing the roster, so can you, BJP guys. Why are you not doing it? I'm completely flummoxed, sir, because the heat needs to be applied now, not when it's closer to the election, because then again they'll start playing the victim card. This is my 2 cents, sir. To me, this is a natural fit. TVK plus Congress. If that happens, DMK is done. My opinion, DMK is done. Because not only Muslims, Christians will also navigate towards this. And see, everywhere this is thing. Trinamool Congress starts 35-0. In other words, if it is a 100-meter race, Mamata starts running from the 35-meter point. BJP has to start from 0. Likewise, in Bihar, 30 meters, right? 18% plus 13% or 14% Yadav, 32%. The 32-meter line is where Tejaswi starts running. Whereas NDA, he has to start from 0. Likewise, in Tamil Nadu, the same thing used to happen. DMK used to start from 30%. They just needed 5 to 10% more, and that they bought. That's how they won. So if that 30% itself is at risk, then all these rascals have to go and earn their vote and say why they are different, why they should be coming back to power. I don't think any amount of money will sway people's mind, because you have poisoned their mind so much to thinking in a certain direction, and they see, oh, okay, he's one of us. Joseph Vijay is a Christian, and let's vote for him. I see this happening. Whether it's good for Tamil Nadu, whether it's good for India, I don't know. But at least it will get rid of DMK. At the same time, ADMK needs to push its game to the next level. I don't see EPS brimming with charisma. Charisma is needed, sir. It's a necessary condition. Charisma is what got MGR across the line. Charisma is what Jayalalitha had that got her across the line. If they did not do a good job, that is when DMK came to power. You look back at from 1972, Shekharji politics, it was the mistakes of ADMK that allowed DMK to come back to power. If they did not do anything wrong, they kept coming back. For example, MGR, once he became chief minister, he could never be unseated until he died in 87.
Yeah.
Then there was a period of uncertainty because Veerappan wanted his own words, and then he got Janaki Ammal. All that, and then finally the charisma factor won out. My point again, that charisma is missing. Who has the charisma? Vijay, Annamalai. These are the two people who have charisma today. Stalin is in no shape or form to go and crisscross the breadth and width of Tamil Nadu, which is not a small state, to canvas. All he will do is get on a helicopter from Chennai in the morning, address 2 meetings somewhere, come back to Chennai. This is what he has been doing. Even Jayalalitha, during her failing health, was doing the same thing. So it's very easy for somebody who's fit to completely say, look, where is your chief minister candidate? The guy is not even there. So you easily can make people see things your way. Annamalai is a different category in terms of intellect. Unfortunately, somewhere something has gotten crossed, and I think he's trying to make amends. And I have a feeling that EPS is not the thing. Although ADMK is being chosen or favored by BJP for the cadre, that they have cadre at the booth level. It's again an implicit admission that BJP has not been able to grow the cadre at the booth level. We have to admit it. Please, BJP guys, don't spew venom at me. That is the hard truth. You guys are not able to create booth level capacity, even in places where you are relatively strong. That is why Amit Shah has gone with ADMK. Why does he want to go with ADMK? So there are some interesting things. Sir, I yield the floor to you, sir. I'm just telling you because
I wanted to share a piece of information I've just got, which is after the Karur episode,
yes.
Vijay has approached a Bangalore aviation company to hire at least 4 helicopters so that he can avoid this repeat of Karur episode. So what his men are planning is, after this, his meeting with Karur victims, he is going to crisscross the state, do helicopter hopping, and address meetings outside major towns and cities. And then from there, connect with other areas, rather than travel through road, having people lining up, because he doesn't want to have a repeat of Karur kind of episode, people just coming to seeing it just because he's a film star. He wants to avoid that. And sir, election time, parties approach usually close to the election to book helicopters. And like BJP, because BJP always does it early, they book all the helicopters and keep, so that when the opposition approaches, the helicopters are not available. And there are about 10 companies in India that provide helicopters to these star campaigners. So Vijay, I am told, has approached a Bangalore civil aviation company, helicopter company, and at least 4 helicopters are being booked for Vijay to undertake the whole campaign. Sir,
take a leaf out of Prashant Kishor's book for Narendra Modi, Chai Pe Charcha, holographic images. See, image is everything. Vijay, try and do holographic projections. If you don't want people to come to you, you go to the people. Have these things in, small 50, 100 people places. Just say, okay, here is a holographic image.
Sir, even holographic images will cause stampede, sir. People will think it is real.
It's still manageable, sir. You can always plan it in such a way that I don't have to go there. In this street, I'm going to have it at every 100-yard intervals or something like that. Sir, some planning is still needed. But it was a huge success for Modi, sir. Chai Pe Charcha, what's such a big catch on? I mean, you got this 3-foot Modi, hey, all hands up and down, making a thing. It was a novelty. People really liked it. But that was mostly in the northern part of India, not in south. Try something new. Try something new. Think outside the box. And I mean, he's a hero, sir. He can do something. At the same time, how will he govern? Bhagwan Jane. That I don't know, because zero experience. And it could be like NT Ramarao. NT Ramarao was a mixed bag. Some things he did properly, some things he got into histrionics, and that's how Chandrababu Naidu convinced the rank and file to split with NT Ramarao. That still took a decade. Anyway, so we'll see how that goes. I definitely want DMK out, and I don't think ADMK has the chutzpah. Chutzpah is a word in, I think, Yiddish. That means takes what it takes to win, that extra edge that you can say. You show up, people start cheering. That sort of stuff is needed. Annamalai has managed to do that. From nowhere, he has done that.
Yeah.
Shekharji, this is a very potent weapon that BJP has in its hand. How you wield this weapon, how effectively you make him to go and crisscross, And BJP doesn't need more than 30-40 seats. If they can make 30-40 seats, if they win those 30-40 seats, Shekhar ji, they have made it. It is going to be that BJP has arrived. When you cross 30-40, just think about how it was in Maharashtra, sir. When the first time Pramod Mahajan became chief minister, before that, it was always first 10 seats, then 20 seats, and so on and so forth. Because then suddenly the tide turned, because they say, oh, these are 30-40 people. They are able to combine as a unit. I'm seeing results on the ground. And this is what should happen, sir. Let's wait and see how this plays out. Very interesting. I think in 2026, Tamil Nadu is going to be the most interesting set of contests that I'm looking at. TMC will go in West Bengal, but she is not going to go away so easily. It's going to be kicking and screaming, and she will break her left leg and put a cut plaster on right leg. All sorts of histrionics. Something new she'll invent. But the people have to decide, and SIR there would make a huge difference, in my opinion. And again, a lot of things have to go right for BJP still, because I'm very, very, very skeptical from the last time when they claimed they are going to get 200 seats, only went end up with 73 seats, and a lot of repercussions for the rank and file on the ground. That was very, very sad. So that's what I have. Shekhar, if you would like to add something more on the upcoming 4 state election, Kerala could throw a surprise because CPM's corruption in temples. So somewhere you break the faith.
Sir, today the Kerala police have managed to recover some gold in that Sabarimala some gold case. I'm told they have traced people whom one of the accused had asked him to remove those gold, and they have managed to, because the 3 kilograms of gold were missing. Now I'm told that some kilograms of gold have been found from one of the accused in the scam.
Yes, sir, this will happen. But you see, what it is these people are past caring, Shekharji. There is karma, that there is something that will happen if Sivan Sottu Kulanasam. That is the Tamil saying, viewers. That means if you touch Shiva's wealth, then your family will be destroyed. That's what is the curse. And it has happened. But it is something that people are not willing to accept, because they feel like, see, there is this hubris complex, aham brahmasmi. That's what happens at some point of time, that there is nobody that can defeat me. And look at Stalin's life, Shekharji. I'm hearing that he cannot be more than 2 hours or 3 hours active in a day. What the hell is he ruling then? What the hell is he administering? In 2 to 3 hours, what can you do? So somebody else is running the state for him. Who is that somebody? Does any DMK guy come out and say, okay, it is not this guy, but this guy? There's one guy called Savukku Shankar who used to make this comment, but then they started gagging him by putting him in jail, and even he is now much more cautious. This is the modus operandi.
Yeah,
people are not, see, the other interesting thing I'm hearing, Shekharji, we'll finish with this. The interesting is, the voters are very afraid in Tamil Nadu. They are not speaking their mind as to who they will vote for. So the surveys may not have a meaning. And 2-3 days before the election, that's when people kind of come to a consensus. How it happens statewide, I don't know. That's when the decision is taken. You vote out these guys, you vote in these guys. So you go back and look at.
Sir, one thing is very clear, sir. One thing is very clear. The DMK's popularity has been never so low as it is today. No matter schemes that are being announced in the last minute, the bounty that is being sought to be given to the voters at this last juncture, it's just not working, because people find the last 5 years were wasted years. A lot of corruption has taken place. So all the DMK ministers and members of the Legislative Assembly, they are having a terrible anti-incumbency. And what I am seeing is that Stalin has been traveling to some areas, and he has been removing some district functionaries because of the complaints that is coming, that this is the image of our party. But these kind of surgical operations at the last minute, without actually a change of heart towards issues like corruption, will not give you big result, because what you are doing is just cosmetic effect.
Yes, very true. Very true. Okay, sir. We'll just take 1 or 2 questions and then we'll wind up, sir, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
because there are a lot of people who have donated, and I'd like to acknowledge them.
Certainly.
Sanjay, thank you so much for your super sticker. And I think that's all we have. Thank you, Arun Joshi. Thank you for your super sticker. And that's all we have today. Viewers, I'm very sorry we could not accommodate your questions. Shekhar ji has brought up a very important point. It's not like we wake up every festival season to see this problem. The designing, the planning has to happen year round to make sure that what is happening to these AC buses does not repeat again. And the cutting corners is, passed off as jugaad. No, safety cannot be. You cannot cut corners on safety. Viewers, I hope somebody in the power structures of all these states takes cognizance, because it comes back to haunt you. Dying, burning to death is not a very pleasant feeling. It's the worst way to die, as a matter of fact, because your pranam doesn't go away right away. Even if you are, cut your sartan se juda, in 2-3 minutes you bleed out and you're done. I'm sorry to be so, brutal, mortal in my thoughts, but burning to death is so painful, and they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Nobody deserves it. Thank you so much for bringing this to the attention of all our viewers. And viewers, please, as always, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Shekhar ji's discussions are always with a difference. He has a slightly different 360-degree view, which is why we call it 360-degree view. And we try to bring these kinds of discussions so that it gives you time to reflect about what was said and how we can improve ourselves as human beings. Thanks once again from the bottom of my heart, Shekhar ji. Namaskar. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you. Namaskar.